Thanks for listening in. As we prepare for Thanksgiving this Thursday, it is a great time to reflect on the things that we are grateful for and to cherish the time that we have with our loved ones. One of the things that I am grateful for is to bring this podcast to you each and every week, sharing the stories of other survivors, supporters, and amazing organizations. Speaking of amazing organizations, on this episode, I had the opportunity to talk with Nikki Speer. She's the founder of Redefined Courage. Nikki shared the inspiration behind the nonprofit organization, what supports are provided to women diagnosed with breast cancer, how to request a shirt if you are a survivor, and how you can support the organization. Take a listen in to the great work that Redefined Courage is doing. Welcome to Behind the Pink Ribbon, where we share stories, information, and other content related to breast cancer. My name is Melissa Adams. I am a 12-year genetic breast cancer survivor. I've learned so much through my own journey with breast cancer. I have met some amazing people along the way, many that have become lifelong friends. I have experienced the emotional roller coaster of a breast cancer diagnosis, heartache, anger, frustration, loneliness, and even gratitude. Through this podcast, we will speak to breast cancer survivors, supporters, and healthcare professionals to gain insight and understanding behind the pink ribbon. I'm here with Nikki Speer. Nikki is the founder of Redefined Courage, which is a national organization that was founded which was actually given nonprofit status in 2018. They are based out of Wake Forest, North Carolina. Welcome to the show, Nikki.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Glad to be here.
Yeah, we're super excited to have you here. Today, we're going to talk about the organization, why it was founded, and what supports and services that you offer, and then just any ways that people can support the organization. So give me a little bit of backstory on what happened or why you founded Redefined Courage.
Sure. This is my hardest part of the story, but most exciting part to share is we have heard breast cancer in our family for a number of years, probably back 20 some years, with an aunt being diagnosed, then a grandmother, then another aunt, and then my mother in 2006.
So a genetic history of it?
Yes, genetic history of it, yes. And
BRCA1,
actually
BRCA2?
They really honestly don't know because my mom never had the gene. My sister was also tested, didn't have the gene, and I actually chose to have a preventive mastectomy June 2010. Okay. So I'm almost 10-year previvor here myself. So yes, we've gone through a lot of treatment, a lot of surgeries, and all of that. So I've just seen what cancer can do and does, and always knew I wanted to make a difference. Didn't know what that looked like in my life, but knew I wanted to make a difference. Well, fast forward to the third and final time my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. It came back as metastatic breast cancer the third time, and it came back on her skin. So it was ravaging the outside of her body. And in October of 2015, I decided to fly to New York. We were living in North Carolina like we do now, but we had moved from New York to Mississippi to North Carolina. So I'm flying back to see my mom in New York. And when I get there, she says, "Let's go shopping. I want to feel beautiful. Like this body that I have is just not conducive to feel pretty. I have no breasts anymore. I'm wrapped like a mummy. They had to wrap her kind of like a burn victim, just because she was just so uncomfortable, and there was just so much pain associated with all of that. And I'm like, "Mom, are you sure?" And she just was always this beautiful woman that wore pink lipstick and fashionable and just very fun person, very faith-filled woman, just really joy to be with. And I was like, "All right, well, let's go." And at the end of that shopping day, after we had lunch and we were walking out of the mall, she said, "Nikki, there's just nothing. There's nothing for me to wear." And it got my mind turning. And I just looked at my mom and I said, "I promise you, Mom, I will design clothing that you can wear." And from that promise, just a real spark of of this thing of like, this is what I'm supposed to do with my life. Here I am 30 some years old. And I'm like, okay, I found it. Like the spark went off. And so I really like, not to sound like Rachel Hollis and a few other people, but like, thank God for Google. Like I just sat up in my bed. I drew a little sketch and I just started researching, and I'm just really challenging myself to learn. I had never really formally, don't have a degree in fashion. I just love to spend money and I love clothes. And so
Don't
I
we
guess
all?
that, I guess that's what helps you like be a fashion designer. So here I am. And I just really, asked a lot of people I knew, like, hey, do you know anybody that sews? Hey, do you know about this fabric? Do you know? And I just started asking questions, and fast forward, to a couple years later, we formed a business. It was Redefined Courage, and we had a post-op shirt and a chemotherapy shawl, and we were trying to sell these things, but my heart was so burdened for the women that we were serving that I was giving them for free.
Aw. And that, I mean, your heart is, I mean, you have an opportunity here that you could sell these shirts, but to have your heart tell you, no, let's provide these and donate them.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I do want to real quick kind of go back a little bit
Sure.
with your story, your mom's story. She was actually diagnosed 3 separate times with breast cancer.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And from what I gathered on the website, her initial surgery included a double mastectomy.
Mm-hmm.
And then her second diagnosis of breast cancer also included another double mastectomy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then the third one, did that also include, like, I saw, like you talked about, complete removal. So I guess, when we think of bilateral mastectomy or a double mastectomy, we think everything is gone, right? Everything's out, everything's gone. So
Right.
if you don't mind, I'd love to just kind of hear a little bit more about that real quick before we go
Sure.
in a little bit further about the organization.
Yeah, of course, of course. So actually my mom's first surgery, it was I know they have so many different names for them, so forgive me if I say this wrong, but I want to say it was it was a trans flap.
Okay.
So they removed all of her breast tissue, and they took what was in her stomach and gave her breasts.
Right. Okay. Okay.
five
That makes
five
sense.
years later. Yeah, so I'm sorry if that was the way that it seemed to be explained. I'll go back and check that, but yeah, so that was a trans flap, the first one. 5 years later, diagnosed, same breast.
Okay.
They removed all of that, put implants in. What ended up happening was, after she had some radiation, some more chemotherapy or radiation, she had gotten red spots. And that was actually the cancer coming back the third time onto her skin. They had to open her back up, remove what they had put in, and close her up. Unfortunately,
Oh, wow.
there was never an opportunity for healing. She passed away December 2015. So 2 months after I visited her, she passed away. Mm-hmm.
Wow. I mean,
Yes.
really 3 times, and to, thinking, and that's why, when I read the website, and we always kind of use our own experiences, right? Like what we know and what we think
Sure.
to kind of fill in the holes of a story.
Mm-hmm.
But that makes total sense that she would have had a double mastectomy followed by the trans flap procedure,
Mm-hmm.
which still is tissue.
Yeah.
And then have that removed. So that makes sense. But oh my gosh, like that is so much.
So much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was really definitely a lot to walk through. And I think, she had the grief of my grandmother having breast cancer, passing away, her youngest sister, breast cancer, passing away. Like it's just, breast cancer has definitely, and I think continues to it brings a lot of grief, and it brings just a real challenging piece to our bodies and our physical image as women. I believe, and what I've seen within my family. I mean, they've been amazing, beautiful women and continue to be in my eyes, regardless of breasts or weight gain or no hair, no eyelashes. But I wanted to make sure that anytime a woman opened up a package from us, they knew just how beautiful they were.
Yeah.
Um, that's what I think my mom wanted to know that day that we went shopping. Not that this shirt actually would have helped her, because people are like, well, you made a post-op shirt and she didn't really need it. But I figured I'd start from the beginning of where most of my family started from. And even personally myself, what I had gone through with the double mastectomy and all of the drains and what that did to my own personal body image, and when I faced depression and all of those things. I think there's something to be said about saying, hey, you're thought about in this moment. Like, you're about to do this really hard thing, but you're still beautiful and you're still amazing.
Right.
And we want you to know that. And I think that's just what Redefined Courage wants to be to the women prayerfully around the world. And I hope that we don't have to do this very long. I hope that there's not even a need for our shirt anymore. I look forward to that day. But until that day comes, we want to be
Yeah,
we want to be that encouragement to these women.
absolutely. And I can relate to a lot of the things that you're saying. So when I had
Yeah.
my bilateral mastectomy, I mean, I was wearing ginormous shirts because
Yeah.
nothing fit. Like, I just trying to
Mm-hmm.
pull things over top of my head, trying to find something. I didn't have a ton of zip ups to be able
Sure.
to wear. So, and, my drains hung out everywhere.
Yeah.
um, so yeah, there is that sense of, you don't want to go out. You don't want to be seen because you don't feel pretty. You have these things that are just kind of hanging off of you that have,
Yeah.
red colored fluid, and people look,
Yeah.
and and I can definitely relate to, exactly what your mom said about going out and going shopping. I mean, I remember going out and being with a friend and trying to shop, and nothing
Mm.
fit.
Yeah.
And sometimes shirts have, already predefined areas for where your breast should be, and mine
Mm-hmm.
didn't fit in them. So it
Yeah.
was just kind of, I didn't know whether I should laugh or whether I should cry.
I know.
It was a
Mm-hmm.
combination of both, realistically.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So tell me about why redefined courage. What does that mean, and why did you guys pick redefined courage?
Man, we had we had so many names. We would sit at the dinner table. I have three children, and my dad had moved in with us after mom passed, and we would just sit at the dinner table and we would talk about this dream. And I think we wrote down so many names, and we had wrote down Courage Redefined and a whole bunch of different names. And I just thought, again, back to my mom, and I just really thought, she really redefined courage for me personally. She took that word that means being brave in spite of, and she was that for me, for my children, for my dad who adored her. She just really did that because she did not sit and wallow in what her life was. She reached out to people. She called people. She asked if they could come over for coffee or she could meet them for lunch. Like, this never stopped her. And I'm not saying that's everyone's story, and it doesn't have to be. This is our personal family story, and
Sure.
this is how she was. And she wanted to make the best of a really, really yucky situation. And that's what we wanted to do as a business and now as a nonprofit. Just say, hey, this is terrible, but we want to redefine what this is about. We want to be the encouragement and the hope, and our shirt is named Hope just for that reason. And I think that is the reason why we did. I mean, my mom really redefined courage for me as a daughter. Knowing that I'd have to face this life without her, it's really helped redefine my own courage, my own bravery, facing something that I knew nothing about, teaching myself all of these things with the help of so many people. But it really That's what it means to us as a family. And we stopped on that name and said, this is what it should be.
I love it. I love it. I mean,
Thank you.
I think it fits, and I was creeping on the website just to get a little bit more information. And I saw, you have a picture of your mom that was there, and, just from the picture, and that's just one snapshot of a moment in time, but you can see, the love of life in her eyes and just in her smile.
Mm-hmm.
And you could tell that she had an energy about her, that I have no
Mm-hmm.
doubt that she would have been doing exactly what you said she was doing. Um,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I just kind of visualized her with her pink lipstick on, and,
Yeah.
just
Thank
kind of
you.
taking life by
Yes.
storm. So,
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
love the name. And so you have a shirt called Hope that you talked about. Um, and then you talked about there being a post-op shirt and then a chemo shirt. Do you have both?
We don't anymore. When we
Okay.
when we became a nonprofit, the board just basically said, Nikki, let's do one thing well. Because me being who I am, I actually designed 7 pieces of clothing because I was
Wow.
like, shoot, let's why stop at one? Like, let's do all of this. And my husband's just like, okay, we need to slow it down, but he couldn't tell me no. It was just like
Yeah.
she's on a roll, like on a mission to like save the world. But when we all sat down at the table, they just basically said, Nikki, let's just reel this back in. Let's focus on a one purpose and one mission for right now. When we have the funds and we have the ability to do more, let's do it. Like, let's run with all of this, but let's just pull it back. So manufacturing is really expensive, and just clothing in general. And so being able to give these for free, we're so fortunate to be able to do that with the help of amazing supporters. So hopefully in due time, our chemo shawl will come back. It's made of bamboo
Oh,
fleece, and it was so soft, and it was had really big sleeves and just an open bodice, kind of just so that you could wrap it around you if you were
sounds
cold. But
amazing.
yeah, I mean, so many people really did love them, and we had a lot of requests for them. So I'm really hoping in the near future those will be. But and like I said, I have so many different visions for other clothes that will again help women feel beautiful with the process, and the process can sometimes take a while. And so I just wanted to be that, but eventually that will be if it's supposed to be. But right now we're focusing on Hope, and that has 4 pockets inside, and it's button up, and it's soft, and it's cotton spandex, and it's easy to
Ooh.
wash. And it comes in 3 different colors and 4 sizes. And yeah, they're free for anyone who comes on the website and asks for a shirt from the free post-op
Yeah, well, and that
page.
was going to
So
be my next question is how do people get it for
yeah.
free? Because, and I shouldn't say people, but women who are going through that, obviously, how would they be able to get it? So it's just coming onto the website, and then clicking on the tab and filling out the
Get the
information,
tab.
correct?
Yes, yes. The tab is free post-op shirt. And then you just fill out your information as you feel, you want to give us, but it just helps us as you share your story with us. We're able to be, transparent with our supporters and saying, we never give names, we only give initials. And we put on different pictures of people just to show our supporters, this is where the shirts are going. I actually, before I spoke with you today, I was at the post office sending out 3 shirts, one to Indiana, one to Illinois, and one to Maine. So and we have sent 14 shirts already this October.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that, I mean, it really, I didn't have this around when I went through 12 years ago when I was dealing with all of this. But I
Yes.
do remember there were some connections that I was able to make. And one of them, somebody would send me something in the mail, and it just, like, even just getting that package in the mail was so nice. Like, just somebody's thinking about me, and knowing that
Yes.
there's something in that box that is, full of love, and was something that was going to help me in whatever way in my journey.
Yes.
So I have no
Yes.
doubt that, these women and potentially men who are receiving these, will find them to be helpful, and there's a level of comfort that will come along with them having that.
Yes, I mean we hope that for sure, and we've had amazing companies actually partner with us, like Norwex, who gives a body cloth in every box now,
Oh,
and
wow.
Thrive Cosmetics gives 9 pieces of cosmetics with every box, and
Okay.
we also have Choice Organic Tea that partnered with us, and so it. I always dreamed it would be a box full of hope,
Yeah.
and that is exactly what it is. And my next dream that hopefully will be fulfilled is that there'll be a gift card that the women could use at a particular store, or something that they could maybe just purchase a meal for their family so they wouldn't have to cook. I want to make this something that they just feel so loved. Um, and they don't even know like who sent it, and we don't even know like all of our donors and all of our people, but it's just saying like you were thought about by somebody today,
Yeah.
and you're going to face this. And it comes with a beautiful written tag, handwritten tag, by sometimes student volunteers, sometimes by my own dad, who was a caretaker. So I mean, I think just the whole thing
Yeah.
from start to finish just lets you know like you are cared for and you are thought about, and you are going to get through this, and you're not alone. You're not alone. And we have a breast cancer warriors group that we really enjoy. We only have 100 or so women in there, but just kind of share stories, encourage one another, and it's just a really beautiful community that's really forming around this hope shirt.
I love it. And so, say somebody is not a breast cancer survivor or going for an upcoming surgery, but maybe they want to donate some money so that somebody can get a shirt. How does somebody go about donating some money to support this?
Yes, we have so many ways. Of course, the website, there's a donate page, there's different tabs, throughout the website to be able to donate. Facebook is always a great way. You can now donate on Instagram. People sometimes just send me messages and how do I do this? And I just pop them a quick link. But it really is just, we try to make it as simple as possible, and as little or as much, as someone wants to donate. It matters. It all
Sure.
every dollar matters, and it goes to these beautiful women across the
So
country.
what is the cost of having to make a shirt and then shipping it out? So if somebody was like, I just want to make sure I'm paying for a full shirt to make sure it's from start to end, what is the cost typically associated with that so that maybe somebody could say, that's what I'm going to donate?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, our suggested donation is $60.
Okay.
That, with the package in the box now being what it is, it's
Sure.
much more expensive to ship than originally thought. So $60 really helps us to get the shirt shipped to us, to all of the things that go along with that. That is a suggested donation, and that really helps us from soup to nuts, start to finish, get that shirt to the woman.
Yeah. Awesome. And then
Yeah.
did I see that you have a fundraising event?
We had a fundraising event. We had a
Okay.
huge gala in
Yeah.
September, and we're
Okay.
having another one. Yep, and we're having another one this coming September. But yes, we did. We had an amazing sold out gala, and it was the most beautiful thing I've ever experienced. Besides the fact of being with my mom before she passed. But it was beautiful to see just the coming together and the community rallying for these women that they don't even know.
And
Like
was this your first? Is
this
this
was
the
our
first one?
first. This was
Yay.
our first. Yes.
That's so exciting. So this is
Yes.
an annual
Yes.
event that you plan to continue.
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Yeah. So people who
Hmm.
are local to Wake Forest or maybe, kind of surrounding areas, could definitely find that information on your website and get tickets for
Yes.
that.
Yes, yes, absolutely. That's all up and coming info and working out all the details now. But we're very excited for that. That was a beautiful turnout and a great way to just push us forward and keep on moving to do what we do.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I mean, I love what you're doing and um, just coming from a place of being a survivor myself, I have no doubt that you are impacting so many lives and that your mom would be so incredibly proud of all of the things that you're doing and all of the lives that you're touching.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you very
absolutely.
much.
So I want to make sure that people know how they can find you. So what social media platforms are you using, and is it all under Redefined Courage?
Yes, all of it is, especially we're very active on Facebook, which is Redefined Courage, active on Instagram, which is Redefined Courage. And then, of course, LinkedIn is really great to partner with amazing businesses and corporations. And so I'm on there as Nikki Speer, and Twitter as Nicole Speer. I'm not sure if my name was taken or what happened with all of that. I didn't get the memo of like making sure everything was the same before I learned all of that.
Yeah,
But you can, if you type in Redefined Courage, I'm more than sure we'll be on that first page of Google, especially now in October. I know a lot of people have partnered with us this month, but yes, you will be able to find us. Type in redefinecourage.com, and all of that will be right there for you to be able to find us and hear stories and donate, share, whatever that looks like.
yeah, that's awesome. And just for clarification, it is SPEER, Spear, not EAR.
Right.
So yeah, so if somebody's looking for you, it's SPEER. So
Yes.
awesome.
Thank you.
Well, I am beyond grateful that we have connected, that you decided to be a part of the podcast. I think that this is, again, such amazing things that you're doing. And I have no doubt that the women receiving these shirts and this box full of wonderful little goodies, that it's really helping them through their journey. So, as a survivor, I just say thank you for doing that so much.
Well, thank you. Thank you for this podcast and for just, sharing people's stories. I think sharing really is caring. I know that's been said before, but that's, women like you that are doing things like this are wonderful. So thank you as well.
Well, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Absolutely.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Behind the Pink Ribbon. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. If you or anyone you know would be interested in sharing your story, please send an email to podcast@behindthepinkribbon.com.
You've been listening to Behind the Pink Ribbon, produced by American Creative Consulting, mixed and mastered at Riverview Podcasting Studios. For more information, please visit designbyacc.com.